section, the coordination, the linking system. Today in previous class we discussed about the structure of neurons and different types of nerves like sensory, motor and mixed nerve. Today we are going to discuss about the nervous system. Our nervous system is mainly divided into two parts, central nervous system and peripheral nervous system. Central nervous system is CNS. CNS is called central nervous system. PNS is called peripheral nervous system. Central nervous system consists of brain and spinal cord. Brain and spinal cord. Two types of nervous system, central nervous system, peripheral nervous system, CNS and PNS. Central nervous system consists of brain and spinal cord. Brain and spinal cord. Today we are going to discuss about human brain. This human brain is present in a bony box made up of skull bones called cranium. Where it is located? It is located in a cranium bony box called skull. Bony box called skull. Now this human brain is covered with three membranes. The membranes of the brain, we call it as meninges. What we call those membranes? Meninges. There are three meninges, three membranes that covered the brain. Apart from the skull, apart from the cranium, brain is covered with three membranes. Those three membranes we call as meninges. The outer membrane is called dura mater. Inner membrane is called orchinoid membrane. Middle membrane is called orchinoid membrane, and the inner membrane is called pia mater. Dura mater, orchinoid membrane, pia mater. To memorize this, we can have a simple tip, DAP. When you keep the name DAP in your mind, D stands for dura mater, A stands for orchinoid membrane, P stands for pia mater. These three membranes, we call them as meninges. They cover the brain. Apart from these meninges, a fluid is present, filled, the middle and the inner membrane is filled with a fluid called cerebrospinal fluid, CSF, cerebrospinal fluid. This fluid flows between middle membrane and inner membrane. And this fluid provides nutrients to the brain, and this fluid not only it flows through the brain, it also flows through the spinal cord. And this meninges also not only cover the brain, they also cover the spinal cord. Cranium, meninges, cerebrospinal fluid protect the brain from physical shocks and blows and mechanical damages. And the cerebrospinal fluid not only give protection to the brain and spinal cord, it also provide nutrients for the brain for the proper functioning. We already know that neuron is a fundamental unit of nervous system. We discussed about neuron in the last class. Now these three things protects the brain from mechanical shocks and injuries. Now let us discuss what are the parts present in the brain. The human brain is divided into three parts: forebrain, midbrain, hindbrain. Forebrain, midbrain and hindbrain. Let us discuss about forebrain. Forebrain consists of three major parts: olfactory lobes, cerebrum, diencephalon. Forebrain, olfactory lobes, cerebrum, diencephalon. First let us discuss the cerebrum. Cerebrum is the largest part of brain. It is the largest part of brain is called cerebrum, and this cerebrum cerebrum is divided into two equal halves called cerebral hemisphere. Left cerebral hemisphere, right cerebral hemisphere. Both these cerebral hemisphere are connected with a bundle of neurons called corpus callosum. What we call that part? Corpus callosum. You can look this part in the picture, or you can refer your textbook while going through this video. This corpus callosum connect both the cerebral, the main largest part of forebrain is called cerebrum, and cerebrum is divided into two equal halves called cerebral hemisphere. Both the cerebral hemispheres are attached by another tissue called corpus callosum. When you observe the cerebrum hemisphere, the outermost part of brain, you can see some elevations and depressions on the brain. These elevations and depressions, elevations are called as gyri and depressions are called sulci. These elevations, gyri, sulci. These elevations and depressions will increase the surface area of cerebrum so that more number of neurons can be accommodated in the brain. Cerebrum consists of nearly 10 billions of neurons. 10 billions of neurons. So to increase the surface area, the cerebrum has some foldings or convolutions or elevations and depressions. Those we call them as gyri and sulci. More the gyri and sulci, more the intelligent, more the intelligent. When you see the outer part of cerebrum, the outer part of cerebrum is grey in color and the inner part of cerebrum is consist of white in color. The outer part of cerebrum which is grey in color is called white matter. The inner part of cerebrum which is white in color is called white matter. Why there is a difference between the colors? The outer part of cerebrum consists of cell bodies, nasal granules and dendrites, and unmyelinated unmyelinated axon is present in the outer part of the brain. That's why because of this outer part of brain look white in grey in color. The inner part of brain consists of myelinated axon. Myelin sheath is a white color fatty sheets which give white color to the brain. Very important. Outer grey matter, inner white matter is present in the brain. Now let us discuss what are the functions of cerebrum. Functions of cerebrum. Cerebrum is a seat of intelligence. And cerebrum, intelligent, memory, reasoning, perception, mental ability, all these are under control of cerebrum. So cerebrum is called a seat of intelligence. And this cerebrum is divided into 4 lobes. Before explaining the 4 lobes, let me tell you what are these 4 lobes. Parietal lobe, temporal lobe, frontal lobe, occipital lobe. These 4 lobes have different centers for different activities. Suppose you are crossing a road. Before you cross a road, you just see whether while you are crossing a road, you hear the sound of the car horn. So when you listen the sound of the car, what will you do? You turn back, you turn back and see whether the car is very near to you or pretty far from you. If it is near to you, you wait for a while, then you cross the road. If it is pretty far, you immediately cross the road. To do all this activity, we need cerebrum. See, this is not a one particular action. So many actions are involved in this activity. Moving action is involved, thinking is involved, hearing is involved, observing or vision is involved. All these 4 activities should be coordinated together and done by a single brain. And these 4 activities are controlled by 4 lobes which are present in the cerebrum. Parietal lobe control moving activity, frontal lobe control thinking, and occipital lobes control vision or observing, and temporal lobe control hearing. That's why brain have centers for all different activities. These 4 lobes are the centers for 4 different activities. These 4 lobes are present in the cerebrum. And the ventral surface of the cerebrum, you see some specialized lobe-like structures called olfactory lobes. And these olfactory lobes we cannot see in the dorsal view. We can see only in the ventral view. These olfactory lobes are very important. They are the center for smell. The another important part is the diencephalon. This diencephalon is divided into 3 parts: epithalamus, thalamus, hypothalamus. All these 3 parts together we call them as diencephalon. What we call it? Diencephalon. To the hypothalamus of diencephalon, a peanut-sized gland is present, that is called pituitary gland, which is the master gland, which is the connecting link between the nervous system and endocrine system. We discuss about pituitary gland in next topic. And the important function of diencephalon is it acts as a relay center for so many muscular activities, and it also controls emotions. It controls sleep, hunger, blood pressure, body temperature. All these are under control of diencephalon. It's a very important part which control all our emotions: happy, pain, pleasure. All these are under control of diencephalon. The next part of the brain is called midbrain. What is the next part of the brain? It's called midbrain. Midbrain consists of optic lobes, and optic lobes are responsible for the vision of our body. This midbrain will is in between. It connect the forebrain and hindbrain. Midbrain will connect the forebrain and hindbrain. Now coming to the hindbrain. Hindbrain consists of two important parts called cerebellum and medulla oblongata. Cerebellum and medulla oblongata. Now when you talk about the cerebellum, main function of cerebellum, it is called hindbrain or small brain. The main function of cerebellum is to balance the equilibrium of our body. It balances our body, it controls our equilibrium of our body. And this cerebellum, the first part of cerebellum, we call it as pons, and the posterior part of cerebellum is called medulla oblongata. Medulla oblongata. This medulla oblongata continues as spinal cord. And this, I already said, midbrain acts as a relay station, sending the information to brain and spinal cord, from spinal cord to brain. And coming to this medulla oblongata, it is also a very important part of the brain. And this medulla oblongata continues a spinal cord, and medulla oblongata controls so many very important involuntary actions like cardiac, respiratory, vasomotor. Vasomotor activities means dilation of blood vessel. We call it as vasomotor activity. It also controls the reflex actions like coughing, sneezing, vomiting. All these are under control of medulla oblongata. Medulla oblongata is very important. When medulla oblongata is damaged, the person will get instant death, immediate death without loss of blood or anything, because medulla oblongata control cardiac. Cardiac means heart, functioning of heart and respiratory system, both are under control of medulla oblongata. So it is also a very important part of brain. Now next nervous system is called peripheral nervous system. Peripheral nervous system consists of nerves from spinal cord, nerves from brain. The brain nerves, we call them as cranial nerves, and the spinal nerves are 31 pairs of spinal nerves, 12 pairs of cranial nerves are present. Let us recall the various parts present in the brain: cerebrum, meninges, gyri, sulci, diencephalon, midbrain, corpus callosum, cerebellum, medulla oblongata, spinal cord. And the weight of the brain is approximately 1400 grams. The adult man, and it is only the 2% of our body weight, but it consumes 20% of our body energy. The average man brain is 1375 grams, and average adult woman brain is 1275 grams. Okay children, thank you. We will meet you in the next session.